Hi, my name is Nur FIN2603 with college number MDB 2207070. So today I'm going to explain about question number 1, which is liquidity ratio. There are two ways that commonly used to calculate liquidity ratio, which are current ratio and quick ratio. First calculation that I have made is based on current ratio by using formula current asset divided by current liability. On 2021, $134,836 divided by $125,481. The answer is 1.07 times. The ratio is greater than 1 and clearly shown that its current assets are greater than current liability, which is good for every company that runs a business. While on 2022, $135,405 divided by $153,982, and the answer is 0.88 times, which is less than 1. That shows its current liabilities are greater than current assets. This shows a bad ratio for every company and might affect their current performance in the future, and clearly can be seen that liquidity ratio of Apple company in 2021 is higher than 2022. Second calculation that I have made is based on quick ratio by using formula current asset minus inventory and prepayment divided by current liability. Referring to the balance sheet of Apple company, there are no prepayment and assuming that all the current assets are liquid, which can be converted to cash quickly and at low cost except for inventory. On 2021, $134,836 minus $6,580 divide $125,481. The answer is 1.02 times. The ratio is greater than 1 and clearly shown that its current assets are greater than current liability, which is good for every company that runs a business. While on 2022, $135,405 minus $4,946 divided by $153,982, and the answer is 0.85 times, which is less than 1. That shows its current liabilities are greater than current assets. This shows a bad ratio for every company and might affect their current performance or in the future. This can clearly be seen that liquidity ratio of Apple in 2021 is higher than 2022. Based on these two comparisons, ratios on 2021 are preferable because it is higher and easier for the company to pay its creditors on time. Second question for number 1 is suggest 3 factors that affect the current performance of the company. In my opinion, the first factor is supply chain management. The global supply chain for Apple is extensive as it is such a big company in the world. Any supply chain interruption, such as shortage of components, logistical challenges, or manufacturing issues can affect the profitability and availability of a product. Second factor is market demand. The popularity of Apple goods like the iPhone, iPad, and Mac among consumers impact the company's financial results. Demand is affected by the economy, which is directed by the income of an individual, customer taste, which Apple have so many competitors around the world, and general market trends. Last factor that I can give is competition. We all know that Apple has strong rivals in the technology and telecommunication sector. Market share, price, and profitability can all be impacted by its rival. Although Apple provide high quality products, but there are many competitors that offer the same quality at lower price, which will attract more consumers. For example, Vivo, Samsung, and Oppo.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Diana and my ID number is MDB 2207023 and I will explain about question number 2. So for the first question, search for any journal that is different from the other group on the internet or in the library. Explain 2 factors that affect the effectiveness of the company in managing its assets. So basically there are 2 factors that can affect the effectiveness of a company in managing assets, which is technological advancements and employee skills and training. So, for technological advancement, the adoption and integration of advanced technology can improve a company's ability to effectively manage assets. The efficient use of technology can help streamline processes, reduce manual errors, and improve overall assets management efficiency. In this century, more and more companies have started using artificial intelligence technology in their organization because this technology can bring great changes and good improvements to the company. Besides, by using AI, companies can integrate AI algorithms into their customer service departments and allowing them to analyze customer interactions in real time and also provide personalized responses and also recommendations. This has not only improved the customer experience but also significantly reduced response time. Furthermore, companies also can embrace automation technologies such as robotic process automation (RPA) to streamline repetitive and time-consuming tasks. They have automated data entry, invoice processing, and report generation, freeing employees to focus on more strategic and valuable tasks. Overall, these technological advancements have helped the company stay competitive against other competitors. For employee skills and training, the effective administration of corporate assets is directly impacted by the knowledge, abilities, and training of personnel. For assets to be properly maintained and used to their fullest extent, a skilled and capable crew is essential. Assets can be maintained, repaired, and used effectively by staff members who have the required technical proficiency, understanding of asset management principles, and compliance knowledge. Employee skills and training can have a significant impact on the effectiveness of a company in managing assets. So here's how. First, asset utilization. When given the right training, skilled workers may make the best use of an asset. Second, asset maintenance. A well-trained workforce can carry out routine maintenance and preventative measures on assets, minimizing downtime and extending equipment lifespan. Third, risk mitigation. So employees with the right skills can spot potential risks and dangers related to asset management. Fourth is problem solving, which is employees with the necessary knowledge and training can deal with the issues involved in the assets. For second question, choose any one ratio under asset management categories. Suggest two ways to improve the performance of the company for that ratio. So, as we know, the asset turnover ratio is one of the ratios that are frequently employed in asset management categories. To get asset turnover ratio, we have to get the net sales to be divided with the average total. So, by using this ratio, here are two ways to improve the performance of the company. First, streamline inventory management. So, we can improve the asset turnover ratios that requires optimizing inventory levels. Then, the company will be able to sell its inventory more quickly and increase the asset turnover ratio as a result. Second, we can invest in asset utilization. So, it helps in improving the asset turnover ratio that requires maximizing asset utilization. Then, the business should frequently assess how efficiently its resources are being used and look for ways to improve productivity.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Faris bin Zana Abidin, ID number MDB22030006. So I will answer the question 3, which is analyze and interpret the debt and profitability ratio below. So let's analyze the company 2PM debt and profitability ratios for 2021 and 2022 and compare them to the industry average. So the first one is debt ratio. In 2021, the debt ratio was 28%, which increased to 32% in 2022. The industry average debt ratio for both years is 35%. For the interpretation, company 2PM has a lower debt ratio than the industry average in both years. However, the debt ratio increased from 2021 to 2022, which indicates that the company is taking on more debt relative to its assets, as debt ratio in the company 2PM almost the same to the industry average debt ratio. So the investor should monitor this trend for potential financial risk. For the debt to equity ratio, in 2021, the debt to equity ratio was 53%, which increased to 55% in 2022. The industry average debt to equity ratio for both years is 43%. As for the interpretation, the company to PM has a higher debt to equity ratio compared to the industry average in both years. The increase from 2021 to 2022 suggests that the company is relying more on debt financing. This can indicate higher financial risk, as a higher debt to equity ratio implies higher leverage to the company to PM. For the time interest earned, in 2021, the time interest earned was 3 times, which improved to 5.2 times in 2022. The industry average time interest earned for both years is 4.1 times. As for the interpretation, the company 2PM has time interest earned has improved, indicating that the company has a better ability to cover its interest expenses in 2022 compared to 2021. This is a positive sign, but it is important to note that the industry average is also higher. As the gross profit margin, in 2021, the gross profit margin was 65%, which increased to 76.5% in 2022. The industry average gross profit margin for both years is 60%. As for the interpretation, the company 2PM gross profit margin is significantly higher than the industry average in both years, indicating the efficient cost management and potentially a competitive advantage. A company 2PM has a higher profit margins. It means that it operates efficiently. It can keep itself at this level as long as its operating expenses remain in check. As the net profit margin, in 2021, the net profit margin was 24.5%, which increased to 25% in 2022. The industry average net profit margin for both years is 35%. As for the interpretation, the company 2PM net profit margin is lower than the industry average in both years, indicating that it may have higher expenses or lower profitability relative to its peers. A low net profit margin means that a company uses an ineffective cost structure or poor pricing strategies. This can be bad for company 2PM to cover their expenses. So, in conclusion, the company 2PM has a relatively healthy debt position with a debt ratio below the industry average, but it is becoming more leveraged over time. The improved time interest earned suggests better ability to cover interest expenses. In terms of profitability, the company's gross profit margin is also strong, but its net profit margin lags behind the industry average.
Based on the provided financial ratio, we as an investor will not to investing in the 2PM company due to several factors. By looking upon its debt ratio, debt equity ratio, time interest earned and its gross profit and net profit margin, we jump to the conclusion that this company has a high level of debt. High debt ratio brings the meaning of high level of debt, which is it can be risky as it may lead to the financial instability of course. Not only that, it seems that this company rely more on debt rather than in its own equity. By this, it is hard to trust to believe this company because of the risk that may increase year by year.
Not only 2PM's company seems struggling with its interest expenses, but also with its expenses that exceeds the revenue. It is because even though gross profit margin shows a positive sign, indeed it is still significantly low in its net profit margin.